Want to be smarter? Want to be fitter? Want to be wealthier? Want to be better? This is Infinite Transcendence, where life mastery meets humor and sarcasm with a blunt approach. This is the place where we talk about mastering your life without the usual feel-good aspect. This is the podcast designed for people who want useful tips and information while being entertained. So sit back and enjoy the program.
Hello, welcome to Infinite Transcendence. Today I want to talk about, this is going to be a shaving guide. How to shave. Shave is an important part of looking good. Men do it, women do it. Men generally shave their faces, chin, neck, and women shave more of their legs and their other parts of their body to look appealing. On both sexes do it to look appealing, to look professional, to look neat. And it's definitely a big part of self-improvement, and it's something that a lot of people have a trouble with. Or they do it as a chore. They just don't really get it or understand. They spend a lot of money and they do it ineffectively. I want to show you a very quick and easy way, or this part is going to be focused more on what to get. The other part is going to be focused on how to actually shave properly. But this is going to be focused on what to get. I'm going to jump right into it. There's 4 parts of this. There's 4 things you can get in terms of shaving. And of course, I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of what is called a Cartridge Razor. That is a razor. You get like the little handle, and you get like a cartridge that has usually 3-4 blades or so in a little cartridge. You pop it on there, you shave, you get rid of it. This is probably the most popular, the most advertised. You have Gillette models, things like that. This is what generally most people, I'd imagine, use because it's the most advertised, the most marketed, is what's there. And I myself didn't really use one much. I had one given to me, but I always went, when I started, I went for electric. And I don't recommend either of those as much. You can use it, but I'll tell you, I don't really see an advantage with cartridge razors, to be honest. But I guess they're common and they're everywhere. But the problem with a cartridge razor is the way it shaves you is it plucks your hair. The 3 blades ends up pulling a lot of your hair and yanking it out of you and cause extra nicks and bleeding. Yeah, for ingrown hairs, hyperpigmentation, inflammation, especially if you're black. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more. Black, for most people who see this, probably white, which is the majority. But people who are black, shaving is a lot different because you have curly hair, and curly hair is more likely to get entangled in your skin, more likely to cause pigmentation and bumps. If you see a lot of black people when they shave, you'll notice they have a lot of dark rings under their neck and stuff because they're getting a lot of nicks from their shaving technique and what they're using to shave. So I don't recommend cartridge razors as much, but you can definitely use one if you'd like. But and also the second downside is they're expensive. You can pay, depending where you get them, you can buy them in bulk. I put some cartridge razors up, some images, so you can click them, check them out, and see what you want to get if you want to. But you can buy them in bulk for cheaper, of course, but it generally costs anywhere from $3 to $4, sometimes even more depending on what you get. But you can buy them in bulk. You might get 6 for $24 or 8 for $24 or something like that if you look well enough and buy them in bulk, especially online. And I have all that available to you if you want to check that out. But that's how a cartridge razor works. That's the most common one, the one you've probably seen the most in modern times, the cartridge razor. The second one is your electric razor. That's probably your second most used one you see nowadays. This is what I use pretty much for quite a while. I didn't use a shaver. I use a lining clippers, like you use to line your hair when you cut it. I use that, and it got the job done, but eventually you'll find, and a good thing about electric razors are, you don't have to go around replacing blades. You don't have to worry about, you don't generally nick yourself. You can you can irritate your skin. You don't generally nick it so much. You can carry it. All you need is you can get a nice carrying bag, carry what you plug it in, you can use it with batteries or with a cord or with a rechargeable battery. Those are the good things about it. The higher end models, you get the higher end models. I put a link on this one. It's called as an image. It's a Braun Series. Those are probably considered the best ones. Particularly, they're more for men shave. These are more for face or shave. I guess you use in your legs too. But these ones you can push up. They can cost up to $300. But they're waterproof. You can take them in the shower. They have a charging station, a cleaning station. Just stick them in there and cleans it and charges it for you. Those are like the top tier models. So they can be convenient and fast. And I liked it. I could just and put the alcohol on and just shave and be done. But the downside of them, again, is the shave. It doesn't shave as close, and it's still, the way it shaves, especially the actual shaving models, not the lining clippers, is they spin and pull. A lot of it pulls and plucks and spins, and you're generally pulling your hair, you're plucking a lot of hair, you're yanking a lot of it out, and you're doing it in a rough, abrasive way, where it leads to a lot of ingrown hairs, a lot of, like I said, especially if you're black, hyperpigmentation, inflammation. And that's the issue I started having. Is I started looking, I was like, I'm getting these bumps, I'm starting to get these spots and stuff like this. I gotta stop. And I tried the better brand. I tried the $300 Braun Series brand, and that one I see now is like $150 now. I put an image for that one up and a link to get that. But that gave me the same thing. I was like, why am I paying this much money? So I had to look for a better solution, but you'll have the same issue with an electronic one that you do with a cartridge. It's very abrasive. Now, again, for a cartridge and electric, for a lot of people, I guess if you're white, it's easier to shave for you. Probably like a bump and nick yourself. You have straight hair. It may be easier. It may not be a big deal for you, but those issues still remain when you shave. Is you're likely to, because I had to shave it with the electric when I was shaving back and forth and back and forth. I couldn't get that good deep shave. I was always missing hairs. I'm always missing hairs. There's always like a few hairs here, and no matter how much I shaved, I was going a different direction. I just couldn't get it off because a lot of it was ingrown. It just does not shave close. It just was not a good shave. So I had to let it go, and I'm glad I did, because I'm going to bring up my favorite type of blade, and it's simple. You've seen it before. It's just a double-edged safety blade, and I like this one the most for so many reasons. It's cheap, very cheap. You get a handle for cheap, $10, $5. Depends what you want to buy. You buy one for $30, $20. They're just different handles and styles. You might find one that's more your fit, but they're cheap. I mean, you don't have to pay that much. And then you get the blades. You can buy 100 blades for $10. Like when I bought them, they were like 9 something. And now they're probably a bit more because of inflation, because I had mine for years. I bought mine 3 years ago because I have 100 blades. And I generally use a blade 3 to 5 times, maybe a week or 2, sometimes 3 weeks, depending on the blade, before I replace it. So they're cheap, very cheap. I mean, you can buy $10 and you have blades for years and years. It's not even an issue. The cut is fantastic. It cuts, you get the right cream, you lather up with the proper technique, you get that nice, good, clean shave. Removes all the hair, no hyperpigmentation, very unlikely to bump or do all the irritation because there's a nice smooth chemical shave. The blade is nice and sharp. You get that nice smooth clean shave. It looks a lot better, looks a lot neater, and you can still, there is a downside. You can nick yourself if you're not careful, but it's very unlikely. The nicks are very small. You might get like a small nick, especially under your neck. Your skin is the thinnest under here. So you're likely to nick yourself. And you can nick yourself. You're not likely. If you have good technique and a good blade, you shouldn't nick yourself. You might when you're starting out, but it's not going to be too bad. It heals up quickly. But that's the only downside I can see of it. You can nick yourself, but you can nick yourself with a cartridge. You're at least likely to nick yourself with an electric. But the double edge has a safety on it. It's safe. I recommend it. It's safe, affordable, extremely effective. It's one of those examples of things you don't think about, that you have the good thing under your eye for cheap, and people go for the more expensive, worse thing. I recommend you just use, in my opinion, everybody just use a double edge. I don't care, male or female, get the double edge because it's cheap, effective, very cheap, very effective. It's just good, best shave you're going to get. Except there's one more, and that's the straight edge. Now the straight edge you probably haven't seen it in real life. Most of you are probably younger. But if you're much older, you might have seen it. You may have seen old cartoons or old movies where people whip out like a pocket knife looking thing and they just shave like this. Or you've seen like maybe the cartoon text, every cartoon where you had the future cars in the mirror, and the guy was shaving when he was driving and he cut his head off. It was like a joke, like a gag. It's like a cartoon. And he took his hat and his head was on it. But that's what it is. It's like a knife almost. It's like you whip it out and there's a razor and you shave this way. Now the advantage of this one is it gives you the closest shave possible. It's a flat out big blade. There's nothing guarding it. So you get the best shave possible. Now, or the closest shave. I mean, the closeness is not much closer than a double edge, but it is a little bit closer because there's no safety there. It has a classic, cool look. It has a hobbyist, enthusiast appeal to it. You can get a nice handle. Some of them cost up to $100 and more if you like the special handles and stuff, but you don't need to spend that much. I have links of all that stuff as well that you can check out and look. I got to put a variety of brands on there. So it's a good close shave and it looks pretty cool, and very few people use it nowadays, so it has that novelty appeal. But the downsides of it are they can be pricier than a double edge if you want to get the nice handle models. They're most dangerous ones by far. I mean, you're generally fine, but you got to be very careful with these. You got to be very careful and concentrate. You're using a literal big razor blade and putting it directly in your face with no guard, no safety, no nothing. So you can cut yourself, and you can cut, especially under your neck. You can really cut yourself, have a big slice. So some people, you can even go to the hospital if you're not careful. So it can happen. It's not likely to happen that bad, but as you start, you will probably cut yourself. But take it very easy on the cutting because there's no guard there. It's hardcore. So that, and also you have to strop it. It's called stropping. You want to keep it sharp. You got to, which you'll generally see, especially in the past. Now I see straight edge with replaceable heads now, but people did. They had like a leather, and they was. You probably seen this in an old barber shop. They go. So that's what you have to do to keep it sharp. It costs more and it's time consuming to keep up. So I don't see much advantage over the double edge set that cuts a bit closer. It's more maintenance, more cost, and more risk. But you can definitely get it. It's like I said, I think people who use these are more hobbyists. They're people who just like the habit of that traditional old school cut, and it appeals to them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Get what works for you. Ultimately, it's all up to you. But like I said, my personal recommendation for everybody is the double edge, because it's going to give you the best price, the best quality, and it's going to get a good clean cut. Male or female, get the double edge, my opinion. But you can try any others, male or female as well. You're going to try the razors. I put links up for everything. You can check them out, look at them. I have images to show you the different brands. You can check them out, look at them, and see for yourself. But like I said, my personal recommendation is the double edge. So I gave you the 4 types of razors or blades you can get, and recommendations on what to get based on the price, cost, and effectiveness. So again, let me know what you think. Have you tried all the brands? Do you use them? Well, do you like it? Which do you like or don't you like? Is there anything I missed out on? I don't think I missed anything. But as always, like, subscribe, and transcend infinitely.
Want more? Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment the video and subscribe to the podcast. Want even more? Check out the written article version and subscribe to the Infinite Transcendence website at infinitetranscendence.com for new and interesting quality content. Join now and receive a special gift. Also like our Facebook at Infinite Transcendence and follow us on Twitter at transcend_world. Keep watching and listening. See you next time and transcend infinitely.